Yo, what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. If you're new and you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to this channel. Oh, and by the way, yeah, we're in a different location, and we're gonna be here for a few weeks. But that's not gonna stop us from dropping these bangers. So let's get straight into it. This year's NBA playoffs has been nothing short from spectacular, especially in the Eastern Conference. Every series in the East has been competitive and chippy, but the biggest difference from this year's and the years past is LeBron James and the current team around him. LeBron has been to the NBA Finals these last 7 straight years, and that streak may be coming to an end soon. Now, before you spaz out all in the comments for no reason, let me tell you why. This Cavaliers team is really different from the years past. There's 3 key problems with this Cavaliers team this year. Now, the first problem is their second option on the team. Every single contender in the NBA has a big 2 or a big 3. 2 or 3 stars to rely on every single night. And the Cleveland Cavaliers used to have that with Kyrie Irving. Having Kyrie on the court used to help take pressure off of LeBron. Whenever a play was broken or if LeBron was tired on the court or anything like that, he's always had a star guard by his side. He had Wade back in Miami and Kyrie before he left. Those 2 guys could control an offense and create plays for themselves and others. They were really reliable. This is the first time in a very long time that LeBron James doesn't have an elite guard along his side. The last time LeBron James hasn't played with an elite guard was back in the 2009-2010 NBA season, and that was his first go around in Cleveland. And in that year, LeBron James didn't even make the NBA Finals. He lost to the Boston Celtics in 6 games, I believe. So here we are about 8 years later, and LeBron is again without a reliable second option. The second best player in the playoffs so far for the Cleveland Cavaliers has been Kyle Korver. Oh my god! Don't get me wrong, Kyle Korver is nice and he's my boy. He used to play for the Atlanta Hawks. But dude, Kyle Korver has seriously been the second best player on the court. That's not a good look at all. The only reason Kyle Korver has been the second best player for the Cleveland Cavaliers right now is because their original second option, Kevin Love, has been a complete no-show. Kevin Love has literally been cheeks so far in the playoffs. He's averaging 12 points and 10 boards on 32% shooting from the field and 39% shooting from 3. Now, the 3-point shooting has been okay for him, but god damn, he's been horrible from the field. 32%? Jesus Christ! Now, his inefficient shooting could be due to a thumb injury that he had earlier in the series, but then again, you know, K-Love has had a history of being a no-show in the spotlight. In the 2016 NBA Finals, he only averaged 8 points and 6 boards a game on 36% shooting from the field and 26% shooting from 3. Cheeks! And during last year's NBA Finals, he averaged 16 points and 11 boards, but just on 38% shooting from the field and 3. That's improvement from his first time in the finals, but it's still cheeks. In this playoff series, K-Love has completely vanished. In shots taken from 0 to 3 feet around the rim, he's only shooting 35% from there. Dog, he's not making anything. The rim is literally right here. Mans can't hit a shot. K-Love is not really fit to be a second option next to LeBron James. LeBron needs another ball handler to take some pressure off of him, and he needs someone who can create offense and create plays for others. And K-Love isn't that he can't do that himself anymore. That K-Love was back in Minnesota. Sorry, coach. But Kevin Love hasn't been the only player who's been bad. It's a collective effort of garbo from all of these guys. Rodney Hood, Jordan Clarkson, Jeff Green, and J.R. Smith. Basically, everybody else except for LeBron James and Larry Nance Jr. has been severely underperforming. Here's an interesting fact for you guys, just so you can understand how bad it's been for LeBron. Out of all these stars in the NBA playoffs, LeBron James is the only player who hasn't gotten at least 20 points from another teammate. And yet the Cleveland Cavaliers are still up 3-2 in this series. I guarantee you, if it was any other superstar in the NBA, they get swept or they get beat in the playoffs in 5 games. Now, back to all the role players struggling thing again. It's just really frustrating to watch because the one person who can help them get out of this slump is Ty Lue, but he doesn't have a clue what to do with these guys. He doesn't know how to put his players in the best position to thrive and succeed. Ty is just using these guys as catch and shoot players, and that's not what all of them are. Green has never really been a 3-point shooter ever in his career. He's more of a mid-range inside the paint type of scorer. He can shoot the 3. He's capable of shooting it, but that's not his bread and butter. Jordan Clarkson, he's a player that can get his own shot off. He doesn't need any help scoring the ball, but yet he continues to stand in the perimeter just watching LeBron James while he goes to work. In the regular season with the Cleveland Cavaliers, he averaged about 10 shot attempts per game, but now in the playoffs, that's cut in half, and nearly half of his shots are catch and shoot 3-pointers. Rodney Hood, he's a player that's really capable of being a catch and shoot type of guy, but that's not all he can do. He's been very limited in this Cavaliers offense. It's like coach or assistant assistant coach Lou thinks that that's all he's good for. But in reality, Rodney Hood is actually the third best all-around offensive player on the Cavaliers. He can create his own shot, he can pull up from three, he's good in the mid-range, and he can also get to the rim. Coach Lou isn't utilizing any of his players. Clarkson and Rodney Hood used to average nearly 10 shot attempts per game, which wasn't enough in the first place, by the way, but now these guys are only getting 5 shots a game, and half of those shots are 3-point attempts. How can you expect scorers like Rodney Hood and Jordan Clarkson to do well when they're only getting 5 shots a game? They need opportunity. They're scorers who aren't being allowed to score. I'm dead serious, y'all. If you want to know what Ty Lue's game plan for the Cleveland Cavaliers is, this is what it looks like. This is it. LeBron James just drives to the rim or ISOs at the top of the key while everybody else stands and watches from the 3-point line. And if the Cavs aren't doing that, then they're setting back screens for other shooters. Ty Lue is doing this to himself, man. Okay, so far we've covered 2 problems with the Cleveland Cavaliers. There ain't no second scoring option because K-Love is cheeks. And also, Ty Lue doesn't know how to utilize talent and get the best out of his players. Look at what Brad Stevens has to work with what's left of the Boston Celtics. Look at what Greg Popovich is doing with the Spurs. Quinn Snyder with the Utah Jazz. These guys really don't have many creators on offense for them. And the Cleveland Cavaliers have multiple guys who can create their own offense. Those coaches, those 3 coaches right there know how to use their talent effectively. That's what Ty Lue needs to learn how to do. That man be in the sidelines looking clueless as hell. But anyways, yeah, K-Love is cheats and the coaches don't know nothing about his players. The last issue is their veterans. He got rid of some earlier this season, Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye. Those guys were extremely reliable, and on any given night they could come in and give you 15 to 20 minutes and they could do their job. For Richard Jefferson, it was come in, play defense and score a little, and for Channing Frye, it was just to come in and shoot threes. Those guys were so valuable for the Cavs, and with the situation that Ty Lue is in right now, Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye would have helped LeBron close out this Pacers Cavs series in 5 games. Now let's talk about the team or teams that could stop the Cleveland Cavaliers from making the NBA Finals this year. The Toronto Raptors and the Philadelphia 76ers. First, let's start off with the Toronto Raptors. If there was any time that the Raptors had a slight advantage against the Cavs, it would be right now. They have a better overall roster from head to toe, and they have so many bodies that they could throw at you. Now, I'm not too confident in them for myself because Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan don't perform well in the playoffs against LeBron James. But hey, they have a strong chance to make some shake, and they can make things tough for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But you know, if you ask me at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I don't really believe in the Toronto Raptors to beat LeBron James, but it's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Now let's talk about the real threat to the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Philadelphia 76ers. Holy hell, nobody saw this coming. The 76ers are ahead of schedule, and I believe they have a very strong chance to make the NBA Finals this year. They have the star power with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and they also have a plethora of great role players to count on every night. Every single game that the 76ers play, there's at least one of them that go off for 20 points. It's either JJ Redick, Dario Saric, Marco Bellinelli, or even Robert Covington. And they also got my man Ersan Ilyasova giving them 10 to 15 points once in a while. This team has the most firepower, they're the most well coached, and they're the most talented team right now in the playoffs. Oh, if I said well coached, scrap that. Brad Stevens is the best coach in the East right now, but they're pretty well coached still though. That 76ers team is the only thing standing in LeBron's way of making his 8th straight NBA Finals. Joel Embiid is currently the 2nd best big man in the NBA, only behind Anthony Davis. He's an unstoppable force at both ends of the floor. Ben Simmons, who is the closest thing to LeBron James currently in the NBA, can help lead this team to the top already. The guy is only 21 years old. He plays like he's been in the league for 10 years. The 76ers have a better star duo. They have better 3-point shooters, a better defense, a better coach, a better bench, and also better veterans on their team. They're the best all-around team in the East right now. The only advantage that the Cavs have is that they have the best player in the world currently, LeBron James. That's it. That's all they got, literally. So when LeBron meets these guys in the NBA Conference Finals, that may be his last playoff series. History shows us that it could be. The last time LeBron James didn't have a strong second option to rely on was back in 2009-2010, and that was the year he was eliminated in the Eastern Conference Finals. K-Love has a reputation of not showing up, so don't be surprised if Philly makes it to the NBA Finals this year. History has a tendency to repeat itself. Now, if Ty Lue would use his goddamn brain and actually let these guys do their thing on offense, Rodney Hood, Jeff Green, and Jordan Clarkson, then yeah, I'll give the Cavs a chance to actually beat them. I'd say the Cavs could beat them in 6 or 7 games. But you know, Ty Lue hasn't used his brain yet, and he hasn't put the ball in these guys' hands more often. But this is the end of the video, man. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you for watching. Give this video a like, and I'll get right with you.
No way, no way. Remember back when I couldn't get a play. No home, I ain't have a place to stay. I got to work, made the shirt, free the way. Told my girl who'd ever thought.